What is up, loves, and happy Friday. I am so excited to be here with you all. It's been a minute. If you didn't just follow me for the last 10 days over Hairstylist Business Building Bootcamp, I sincerely missed you. We had so much fun, if I do say so myself. If you did join me, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. That was a blast. So for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, I just spent the last 10 days taking 6,000 hairstylists through an online 1 week, totally free online bootcamp where within that week, we literally produced more referrals, more income, we strategized on social media, and we figured out how to take our business to the next level in 5 short days. It was incredible. It's the second time I've hosted a bootcamp of this kind, and it was just amazing. Amy Lee, happy Friday. I'm so glad you're here. Pamela, I'm so glad to see you here. I got some thrivers in the house. So it was wonderful. I wasn't here with you all, so if you follow me publicly and you missed bootcamp, I truly missed you. But if you did join me, thank you for being there. It was such a blast. Since I did bootcamp, my inbox filled with questions like crazy. So I have so many awesome live videos ready to go. I'm back and at it. Can't even wait. And hi, Cynthia. And the big question, Jenna says, so sorry I missed the video both times. Britt, don't hate me. Jenna, I love you. I would never hate you. I'm so glad you're here. Happy Friday. I hope you're having a wonderful start of your weekend. Kevin says bootcamp was awesome. Kevin, welcome to Thrivers. I so loved having you in bootcamp, of course. Charisse, glad to have you. So one of the big questions that I kept getting over and over the last week was, what do I do when I'm starting over or I'm building in a new community, or we get this in a lot in our industry because obviously we're like a female-dominated industry. I think there's some statistic where over 88% are females. Crazy, right? So what if I'm coming back? I went part-time because I had started my family and now I want to swing back into full-time. How do you start that? Or if you're moving to a new city, you know, your partner got a job transfer, you're deciding to make a move, how do you navigate that? Because I know it's so overwhelming to think, like, particularly if you've already built a clientele, right? Where you're like, damn, I already did this and I know how hard it could be. How am I possibly going to do this again? And a lot of people actually choose to leave the industry rather than build from scratch. And it does make me sad, but in all honesty, I get it. I know that it's overwhelming, but there's a smarter way. The other thing I noticed, awesome, Jana, I'm glad you're here, is I was in some, you know, I'm a member of all the forums you guys are members of too. And I was looking around and there was a lot of questions about looking to build my clientele quickly. What should I do? And over and over, I saw the advice, hand out your card. And I just feel like that's one of the worst possible strategies that you could have, in my opinion. And I picture myself, like if I'm walking down the street, like minding my own business, I have a coffee in my hand, I'm walking my dog, and some hairstylist walks up to me and says, hi, if you're looking for a new hairstylist, I'd love to meet you. I would be so blindsided and think it was the weirdest thing ever, and it would come across desperate to me, if I can be honest. It would be such a turnoff. I'd be like, no thanks. I wouldn't even take the card. I wouldn't even want them to waste the stationery on me. It would be so strange. So when I see that advice, I just think like, man, that is the least strategic thing you could possibly offer. So I thought I'd share some strategy with you guys so you don't have to feel like you're wandering the streets handing out cards. And we can, Cherise says, I made it, this is for me. Good. I moved from New Jersey to Washington State in July. This is for you, Cherise, totally. And I'm glad you're here now, watching this now, having a couple months to prep, because I'm going to talk about the pre-prep. So you're perfect timing. Let me introduce myself and then we'll roll. My name is Britt, and I'm a social media and marketing strategist just for hairstylists. So my goal is to make your life as a stylist a little bit easier, a little bit more organized, help you to spend your time and money in the right places, quit wasting it in the wrong places. Emily, I'll get to that. So you can grow your clientele the quicker, faster, easier way using today's technology. It's never been easier to grow a clientele. You just have to understand the tools at hand to do so, and I'm here to share some of those things with you today. If you like what we're talking about, you can let those Facebook thumbs up and the hearts roll, and then you can always share this with any other stylist you think would enjoy it as well. Feel free to tag them in so that they can check it out. Okay, Emily asked a really good question. What if they compliment your hair? Emily, you get to pro tip number 1. So I think that when you move to a new community, the most important thing you can do is put yourself out there. And by put yourself out there, I don't mean hand out cards. But touching on what Emily said, you need to spend your first, I'm going to say 6 months in your new community, new area, looking like a hairstylist. And I've talked about this for years. This is not new information. But I see so many stylists walking around in their day-to-day in yoga pants and a top knot, looking like the average person, which would be totally fine if all you were doing was living this average life. But if you are in a position where you're trying to put yourself out there and market yourself as a stylist, You need to be really eye-catching. I always share the story of when I was building my clientele, my hair was red, like not Pravana red, not Vivid's red, but like 06R, Shades EQ, Gloss Me Every Week, like red. It was beautiful, and you'd see it in the sun and it would spark your eye across the street. And I cannot tell you, weekly, women would stop me and be like, who does your hair? And I got to be like, actually, I'm a hairstylist. And I didn't even say, oh, some guy at my salon does it. I said, I'm a hairstylist. I would love to work with you. I'm obsessed with reds. And, you know, of course, a lot of these women were redheads too, right? It's what caught their eye. Not all of them, though. And it really sparked the conversation. So when you say, Emily, what if they compliment you? Absolutely. But a big key to that is looking like you're a stylist. And I often meet or see stylists. Like I'll go to coach in salon and I'll look around at the stylist and I'm like, dude, it looks like there's no stylists here. You guys all look like the average person. And I understand, like on my days off, you better believe I'm wearing yoga pants and a top knot, but I'm also not trying to build my clientele. So when you're in a position where you're trying to build your clientele, when you're out on a Monday, you need to look really freaking good. And it doesn't have to be bright red 06R hair. It could be #guilty. Janet, props to you. I'm really proud of you for saying that because we're all guilty. We've all done that before. But we also know that feeling that Emily mentioned when somebody does come up to you and says, who does your hair? Or I love your look, right? And they open the door to conversation. So it doesn't have to be bright red hair. It could be extensions. You could do a DIY updo, but it needs to be something that's very eye-catching. Just gorgeous, like soft waves sometimes is enough for someone to be like, man, your hair is beautiful. Melissa, props to you too. Thank you for admitting that. But it needs to be something that's compliment worthy. So think about how you're carrying yourself. Think about how you're dressing yourself, right? Dress to impress. What is it? Dress for the lifestyle you want to afford, not the lifestyle you have. So remember those kind of things. So Emily, thank you for bringing that up. Okay, going back to that. When you're like Charisse and you know you're going to make a move, so she has the added benefit, hi Jennifer Love, of knowing that a move is upcoming. The best thing you can do for yourself is to prepare yourself with a fantastic online reputation now. If you join me for a masterclass, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but 80% of today's consumers trust an online review source as much as a referral from a personal friend. I am that consumer. When I read that just about 6 weeks ago, I thought, oh my gosh, that's me. Like, I can't remember the last time I asked a friend for a referral to a facialist, to somebody to do my brows, to somebody to do a massage for me. Like, I literally look up online reviews for everything now. And I am in the San Francisco Bay Area. I realize that's part of the lifestyle I live. But Jeff says, look sharp, be sharp, feel sharp. Jeff, I love that. Veronica just had a reminder she needs to refresh her color. Veronica, I love that. Online reviews are becoming increasingly more popular. When 80% of consumers say that's their go-to resource, has to happen. So it can be Facebook reviews. For some of you, Yelp is not big in your community. Fine. I'm finding that in the communities where Yelp is not big, Facebook is huge. And Facebook reviews are an essential part of your business. So I talked about this in Masterclass. I talk about this in Thrivers, the Hairstylist business building funnel, right? The hairstylist marketing funnel. So at each of the levels, we have the awareness level where people even know you exist. Hi, I'm Britt Seva and I'm a hairstylist. The interest level of, oh, you're a hairstylist? Tell me more about that. The desire level of, oh, I like what I'm hearing. I think I'll pull the trigger, right? So there's 3 different levels that people experience before they come in to see us. The center level, the interest level, is where things like social media, online reviews, live, where somebody's going to check you out before they pull the trigger. Now, if you're like Charisse and you're living across the country from where you're going to be moving, the best thing Charisse can do right now is make her Instagram look amazing, her Facebook look amazing, build up some reviews, have an incredible website so that when she moves to Washington, she can transport all of her contact information to say, I'm in Washington, and suddenly she doesn't look so green. Yes, she's new to the city, but if I find her for the first time, I might not even realize that. All I'll find is a stylist with 26 reviews, a beautiful social media profile, and that interest level looks incredible. And I'm interested, right? Versus you move to a new city and nobody knows you. Nobody's vouching for your skill level because you don't have any friends or family in the area, right? But if we know that 80% of consumers trust online reviews as much as a review from a personal friend, your online reputation can carry you really far, and it's transferable from city to city and state to state. Jennifer says, how can you tell which is bigger in your community and where to focus your energy? Jennifer, such a great question. So what I usually say is be in control of your online presence 110%. So what I'd suggest is creating a Yelp profile for yourself, even if you're like, nobody Yelps in my community. What if in 3 years everybody Yelps in your community? Nobody Yelped in every community until they did, right? So create a Yelp profile. Did you guys know this? Somebody can Yelp review you even if you don't have a profile. So they essentially create the profile for you, and then you've lost control, right? They've decided what your online presence looks like, and you had nothing to say about it. I don't want to be in that position. I want to create what my Yelp presence is going to look like. Even if nobody reviews me there, I want to be in control of how I am found when somebody Google searches for me, and I want my information to show. So be in control of your profile. So I'd create the Yelp. Obviously, I talk about this all the time. You need a Facebook for Business page, which is where you'd be reviewed there. I know you have that. And offer for your clients to review you on either Facebook or Yelp and see what happens. See what gains traction. See which drives more referrals for you. It is a little bit of a trial and error thing. I know just living here, I know Yelp is huge. But I know in some markets, it's like, I don't really know. So I would test. And in any market, I would test is the long and short of that. Do you like to discount dollar amount to check in? Janet, Modulate and Thriver Society. I got you covered, what I like to do. Okay, so maintaining control of that online presence and being able to move it with you is really important. This is why I always suggest for stylists, whether they be commission, booth rental, suite owners, salon owners, whatever your business structure is. Jennifer says, all my reviews are on Facebook. There's your answer. So your community's in the Facebook. Great. Perfect. Don't sweat it. I would create the Yelp, Jennifer, just so you're in control of that presence, but you don't feel like you have to push it. If you're actively getting reviews on Facebook, perfect. Your audience is telling you what they want. Great. Easy. Don't sweat Yelp so much. So where were we going with that? So make sure that your online presence is incredible. Oh, why everybody needs to have their own online presence. So if I was living in New Jersey. Sharice says, so I got a lot of work to do. Maybe you do, Sharice, but at least I gave you the list of what you need to work on, right? So Sharice is in New Jersey. She's going to work on building that social media presence. Can you imagine if all of her Yelp reviews were tied into her salon's page and all the only place she was represented online was on her salon's Instagram? She's going to move to Washington with nothing. Nobody's saying anything about her. She doesn't have her own website, starting from scratch. Right? Nobody's vouched for her at all versus she moves across the country with this beautiful built online presence. She gets to carry that with her. So that's why I always say no matter what your salon structure is, you need to carry your own presence. It's the only thing you can take with you when you walk. Really, really important. Okay, so going back to the hairstylist marketing funnel, so that was at the interest level. Now, no matter if you're staying in your own city, if you're moving to a new city, whatever, whenever you need more clients, you need more awareness, which is the top level of the funnel. It's what feeds the funnel, and it's what sends the client down the journey and into your chair. The awareness funnel sucks. It's nobody's favorite. The awareness funnel costs you two things, time or money, or thing number 3, I guess, which would be both. It's expensive, and it's expensive either you invest your time, energy, and effort, or you invest money because it's where you're going to advertise yourself. So you can do things like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Yelp ads. You can do an ad in the newspaper. You can do network marketing, which is going to take time, right? You can put yourself out in your community and network with local businesses. Again, time. Some of those things I like more than others, but that is how you drive business. So the best thing, now what I don't like is the random handing out cards to somebody who's walking their dog, right? That's not going to work. Always put yourself in the position of the person you're approaching. So how would you respond if somebody approached you in the way you're about to approach somebody else? So what I like to do is a lot more strategic. If you do want to hand out cards, hi Laurel, happy Friday. What I would say is approach more of a local small business and try and partner with them. So, and you don't even have to say, I'm a new stylist, I just moved here and I'm looking to network. You don't have to air your dirty laundry. All you have to say is, I'm a stylist in the area. I'm looking to network with some local businesses. I have something I'd like to offer you. If you and your team are interested, here's some information, right? And in Module 6 and Thrivers, we talk about what that presentation would look like. Dude, that builds your clientele like crazy. And it allows the person you're presenting it to have a little bit more permission to dive deeper and see what you're all about before the awkward interaction of, hi, if you're ever looking for somebody to do your hair, it's me, which is awkward. So it creates a more natural working relationship before you even get started. So think of how you can put yourself out there. The other thing is, and this is coming from the world's biggest introvert. I don't know how I come across to you guys, but I'm a real big introvert. And it's hard for me to want to put myself out there always. But if I was going to move to a new city and I'm building a clientele, you better believe I'd be signing up for the local mom's walking group, and I would want my kid in the Girl Scouts. Poor Emily, she'd hate it. And I'd want to be involved in the toddler play group, and I would put myself out there in front of other women. My target market would be women, but men or women that you're trying to attract You got to get yourself in there. You got to get in the mix somehow. My daughter's elementary school was such a huge referral source, not just for me, but all the stylists in my salon because of the way we networked with them, because I was in there and I was stuffing envelopes and I made offers and did all these kind of things. And there was no point where I was just handing out cards. It was a very organic thing because I put myself out there in the community. So you can do online marketing things like, I know I see people say like post in Facebook groups, and you can do stuff like that. But because our industry is so emotional, the best way for you to build clientele is always going to be making an emotional connection with somebody. Caitlin says, our local mom group has been an insane machine for bringing clients in. Caitlin, yes, because moms want to do what all the other cool moms are doing, right? That's why they're part of the mom group. They're trying to network and they're trying to build community, and you're handing it to them on a silver platter like, hi, I do hair. I would love to work with all of you guys. Boom, you can get 8 clients right from there, but you have to be willing to put yourself out there. And I know that that's hard for a lot of stylists. A lot of stylists say, I feel like I could build my clientele a little bit easier. Christy says, I need to find groups. Christy, Facebook is a great place to find groups. I don't know if the Nextdoor app is big yet in your community. Holy crap. It's huge out here, and I keep seeing more stylists post about it picking up, so make sure that you get into that. Carolyn knows. She says one teacher comes in and the rest pour in the door. Teachers are crazy. They're amazing, right? Veronica says introvert in the house too. Tasa, good to have you. So you kind of just have to fake it till you make it. If you don't really have the confidence to put yourself out there, put yourself into the most comfortable position that you can, but just hiding and hoping that clients are going to pour in is not going to work. I always laugh when new stylists say like, Britt, I'd rather just like build organically. Like I'd rather people just come. No shit. Everybody would rather do that. That's not called real life. If it was, we'd all be really busy, right? And it's, building clientele is one of those things that's tough because you want to have referrals, and that's the best way to build business. But until you have clients, the referrals aren't going to come, right? So the first layer is always going to be putting yourself out there, putting yourself into uncomfortable positions. But can I tell you, the worst thing that anybody could say to you when you put yourself out there is no thanks. Nobody's going to like slap you in the face or tell you, I can't believe you offered to do my hair. That's not going to happen. So put yourself out there, and the alternative is to never put yourself out there at all and completely fail. So get over the fear, put yourself out there. It's just not that bad. And you only have to do this kind of marketing for a very short period of time, and then the referrals will start coming in. Who was it that said that the mom group was huge for her? Caitlin. I'm sure she's not putting herself out there like that anymore, but to get started, it's a great place to go. So if you're moving to a new city or building in a new city, the first thing you need to do is build that interest level. You have to do it. You have no choice. And then the second thing to do is build that awareness level. That's the next choice. If you have questions about what those levels mean, or you want to check out the Hairstylist Marketing Funnel, I'm still offering the masterclass that was a part of bootcamp, and you can go to brittseva.com/6 steps, like the number 6, and steps like stairs. If you head there, you can sign up for the 1-hour masterclass. Bootcamp is over. It finished for the season. It will come back in the fall. But that will at least get you started with your marketing funnel and learning kind of all the rest. So happy Friday. I hope this has given you some strategic tips when you're starting over in a new city. And I will see you guys all on Sunday. So much love. Have a great rest of your day.